Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Business with me, Danny Pardo. On this episode, we are chatting with KJ, who's got a great story for you on her journey through retail and into events management and the importance of finding something you love and then earning a living while you're doing it. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Let's talk business with KJ. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Business with me, Danny Pardo. We've got KJ here. How are you doing today, KJ?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you saying hello to us all here. And we know we've got a story to tell today, and we're going to get stuck straight into it. And I'm going to ask you a question which seems to be catching a lot of people out lately, which is, who is KJ? Who are we talking to?
I'm not that interesting, to be honest. So my name's KJ, or Katie Joe, whatever you prefer to call me. And I'm just from a little town called Stourbridge outside Birmingham.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're keeping it local then. We're West Midlands today. And
Yeah.
in terms of what you do now, so you work for Downtown in Business now, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. So what did Downtown in Business do briefly? And then we'll get stuck into your kind of career journey of how you ended up here.
Yeah, so Downtown in Business is a membership organisation, and I am based in Birmingham, but we are cross-region. So basically all that means is that we're a company that helps businesses to boost profile. We help them basically to get in the room with the right people that they need to speak to get the sales and basically to get what they need out of their business.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're running the Birmingham area for that then. But how did you get to here then? Let's go back to 16, 17 years old. You're finishing up your GCSEs in school. And then what happens after GCSEs for you then? What happened then?
Yes, it's a very long story. I'll try.
That's all right. We've got time. It's fine. You go for it. I'll interrupt awkwardly as we go along.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yes. So I finished school, and to be honest, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I really enjoyed sociology, so I wanted to go into some sort of career to do with being around people, maybe to do with counselling. Like, it was completely random. I went to look at a few universities, and I just didn't really feel like I fitted in. Okay. It was never really an option for me. I never thought university was for me. But I thought I'd go and try because all my friends were going, so why am I not going? Yeah, it just wasn't really for me. So in the end, I just ended up getting a job in Debenhams, spraying perfume, working for an agency. So it sounds nice and glam, working for Gucci, you know, when people walk past, giving them a little spray. And that's literally how it started.
How close did you get? Sorry, if you don't mind me asking, how close did you get to go into university? Because you said, you know, you had, obviously your friends were going, there's the peer pressure. I mean, did you fill in the UCAS application form? Did you get offers, or was it just like?
Oh God, no, absolutely not. I got as close as going to walk around with my mom and being like, nah, this isn't for me. I don't know what I want to do. It's a lot of money if you don't know what you want to do. It was just I didn't think it was for me, to be honest. I just felt like I'd go just to see what was out there and see if something did catch my eye. But obviously being at college and everyone filling out their applications, everyone knowing exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm not knowing, I'm thinking, there's something wrong with me here. I don't know what I want to do. So no, I didn't get very far at all, other than walking around a university and being like, oh my gosh, I want to get out. I don't want to do another exam or sit in a class ever again. Like, that is just not for me. I feel like I'm not clever, but I feel like I'm much better speaking and doing rather than being judged on exams. So I just, to be honest, I was thinking it isn't for me really, but who knew what was going to be out there for me? So ended up not going.
Yeah, so then you went into the glam world.
Yes, as they say, it's not glam. Just FYI, to any ladies listening to this who want to go into it. Did some agency work, which obviously over Christmas time it was, you know, a big buzz in the centre, and you know, everyone's shopping. It was lovely to meet loads of people, and I had a real big buzz from it. And then cut a long story short, I got poached by the manager for Christian Dior. And she said to me, would you like to come and work on our counter? So I was obviously like, oh my gosh, yes.
Did you know? Did you know that the manager had been watching you? It was this completely random
busy. No, I was just a little fish in this big pond, this really shy girl. I wasn't shy, but you know, it's all brand new to me. So I was just standing there with my bottle, spraying everyone. So she came and poached me, asked me if I would like to work on her counter just as agency as well. So obviously to how it works is basically you're either employed by the company or you work for an agency, so you can just work for different companies, and it's a nice thing to get into, really. So I did that for a few months and then got offered a job there, which was great. Worked there, and I couldn't get full time. It was just part time, and then another counter poached me, Benefit Cosmetics. So I ended up going over there, and that was when I wanted to get more into the makeup side of things. So I ended up getting trained and becoming a makeup artist for Benefit, which was great. And then Dior found out that I'd gone there, and then they asked me to go back. So I went back to Dior. Honestly, it was like...
And how old are you at this point then? So you've gone through like 3 or 4 different businesses in a similar kind of industry. What age are you at?
Yeah, it is
college,
very
18,
like that. Excuse me. It is very much like that in a store with cosmetics. You know, it is very much, you do have to bounce to progress. That's how it's always been. So it's good to obviously be around people, and, you know, it's the same job, just a different ship, if anything. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's basically what it is. But you have to bounce to get the progression, to get noticed. Obviously Benefit's brilliant counter, and you know, I had the best time on there, but Dior was where I first started my journey for what I think. So I was obviously over the moon to get asked to go back there and get a full-time position and train to be head makeup artist, and then travel the country doing it. So it's a brilliant opportunity for me. I couldn't not go for it.
How long did it take you to get to there then? So from leaving college to be head makeup artist there, what is that, a couple of years or?
Say, yeah, 2 years. Yeah, my 18th birthday. Yeah, so yeah, 2 years. And then yeah, I was on there for about 3-4 years, and then my manager went on maternity, but I was really trying to prove myself, because after doing all the makeup, which sounds lovely and glam, and it is, but there's a lot of targets, there's a lot of pressure. I did enjoy running the counter when she wasn't there, so I thought maybe a business side of things more what I want to get into. So I went for the role of account manager while she was on maternity, and got it, which was obviously great. I had a year of probably the hardest year in my career to date. Very a lot of pressure. I had no hand holding. I was this little girl, and I had no support. With these councils, I won't go too much into it, but it's very much, they're very picky. They're very, they either like you or they don't. And there's not much support there in terms of having your manager, because obviously you're in your own stores, and the managers are all traveling around, you know, here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, it was a very, very big job. It was very intense.
Did you have trouble? Did you have any issues because of your age? Like, were there people older than you who were thinking, "Who's this young girl coming in telling me what to do?" Was that
definitely? Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of obviously young girls in the store, but to take this management level, I was probably the youngest manager in the whole store, which was obviously good and bad. There was older ladies on the counter with me who obviously hadn't got the role, and she'd been there for like 30 years. So me managing her after 4 years, she'd been there for 30. That was really tough. I don't think I was taken seriously. A little bit of jealousy, a little bit of, well, I know more because I've been here more. Management in the store, definitely. It's a very female environment on the cosmetic counters. And without sounding too harsh, it is quite bitchy, even with the higher management. Whether they're women, you know, women especially. The men are, you know, they're great to say hello and do their thing. But yeah, it was hard work. And I think I had so many different aspects of the role to get used to, including just trying to prove myself, let alone to my company, but to also the store. And the team members who I'm managing, you know, and the customers, because I'm this new girl that's taken over the counter. So yeah, I'd say my age, although I was really proud of myself, I felt like I was treated differently because of it. Yeah, I wasn't taken as seriously.
And did you ever hit that kind of a zone where you think, oh, I'm happy here? Or are you always the kind of person thinking, oh, what's next? You know, where do I go from here? You know, because you moved up through the ranks pretty quick. You know, you booked the trend in terms of you've got to go to university and do all that. So, you know, did you ever think, oh, I'm quite happy here? Or were you always like, let's keep going?
To be honest, for the first probably 6 to 8 months, I was swimming and drowning at the same time, because it was just so intense. I loved every second of it. And I knew the maternity was coming to an end, and I wasn't ready to go back to being, you know, just a makeup artist on the counter and having someone else manage me again. So that's when I've kind of thought, right, this is where I've got to go now. I've got to find a job that's, you know, that's bigger than this. I can't go back to being just an advisor. It's not a bad thing, but for me, this was the start of my career, the start of me becoming what I wanted to be. So I did start looking around, so what was out there. Like I said, the counters are very good for hopping to progress. So, you know, someone on a counter was like, oh, you'll be brilliant for this job. I know a job in another store doing this, because obviously you've got Debenhams, Boots, House of Free, you've got all different, you know, stores. So yeah, cut a long story short, I got, again, headhunted from a manager for Estee Lauder, but in a different store. So it ended up being like 8, I think it's like 7 or 8 years altogether by the time I'd done my agency, bit of Dior, bit of Benefit, back to Dior again. And then, yeah, I got told to move to a different store, still in the same centre, just over the road, so I could still see my friends kind of thing. But yeah, brand new counter, brand new brand. And I got the job. So then I became account manager for Estee Lauder. So that was a brilliant step up for me, because although it was the same job role, it was a bigger counter, so it took more money. Technically, it was a higher role. So yeah, I went over there and managed the team over there, and that was just, it was lovely. I had a great time. After about 4 to 6 months, not even long being there, they just said, you need to go to a bigger store. Like, you know, this is, you're destined to be bigger, really.
What a fantastic compliment to say that.
I know.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you seem to be the living embodiment of networking. You know, these 2 years of your life, we talk a lot about networking. And you got to have LinkedIn, you got to have Twitter, and all these kind of things. Is any of this social media related at all, or is it just you in the store talking, doing a good job, working your socks off, and just getting your name out there?
I mean, I'll go back to that when I get to my new job now, but I'd say in that time working in the stores, social media wasn't really a big thing. Don't get me wrong, we had our Instagram and our Facebook profiles, and we put a picture on of the new fragrance coming out, and when we had a deal on, and we had events that I planned for the, you know, for customers to come to. So we did use social media, but I wouldn't say it was the most successful platform for us to, you know, get what we needed from it.
And you as an individual, you were noticed because of what you were doing, not because of what you were posting on LinkedIn, but because
I didn't have LinkedIn when I was in the store, to be honest. LinkedIn's very, very useful. I'll go into that with the job that I'm in now, but the job with being on a counter, LinkedIn is not useful at all. It's not just beneficial. You don't need sales leads. It's nothing to do with business as such. It's a different type of business. So yeah, I went into this back to my old store again, and Estee Lauder in Debenhams is the #1 UK, #1 counter in the whole of the UK for Estee Lauder for a Debenhams store. So this was like a massive promotion for me. I never ever thought, standing on that, you know, Gucci platform doing my little spray, I'd ever get to run this counter. So this was like a big thing for me. And yeah, I got there and managed. It was a team of 9 girls. They'd all been there 20, 30 years. So I was thinking, this is going to be another big, hard job, but it was the complete opposite. Everyone was so welcoming. Obviously, they're very successful counter. Everyone knows what they're doing. Brilliant girls. So yeah, absolutely loved it. And I was there for 2 years. And that was really where the height of my retail career and the lowest, because then it was, you know, the whole retail was changing. The the position that I've always wanted to go into was area management, and that was becoming less and less visible as, you know, retail was struggling more, and that role might not be even here anymore the way it's going. And that is when I needed to, you know, think, okay, is this what I want to do forever? You know, there's perks of the job, but there is also, I did also feel like I was also stuck, and there's a lot more for me there. This was time for me to grow and, you know, spread my wings and get out of there. So that's really where my career changed. Yeah.
And what year are we talking about now then? Is this the last couple of years? Are we getting a bit more up to date now? Whereabouts are we?
So
just your history of your own career here.
That was in 2018.
Okay.
And then I left in the December 2018. And then I started my new career in the January, and it was a completely different career, which took me a whole year of applying for jobs to get. Because I thought, you know what, I want to get out of retail now. I need to, you know, spread my wings and go somewhere else. What do I want to get into? And even from school, like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I still don't now. I'm thinking, who knows where life will take me. So that's why I think it's really important for even students to know now, you don't have to know what you want to do forever, because I don't know still, and I class myself adult now. And I'm like, I sort of know what I want to do. But yeah, so I thought, you know what, I really enjoy planning things. I plan my mom's wedding, I plan my mom's hen do, I always plan like, birthdays and parties. So I thought, okay, I enjoy doing things like that. What can I do? And that's really where I started applying for jobs in the event side of things.
Okay.
Didn't really get taken seriously because I have no experience, and that's all they want. And being in I was in Debenhams and in retail for 9 years altogether. So coming from that to a brand new industry, it was really, really hard work just to get noticed. I probably applied for about 150 jobs, not exaggerating. Wow. And the amount of interviews I got, probably 3.
Wow. Because I mean, I would presume from that then you've got customer service, you've got managing a team, you've got the big brands, we're talking big responsibilities and trust that previous employees have had. But events management go, nah.
If I went for another role in that industry, I probably would have been, kind of big-headed. I'd have been like top of the list. Yes. All the experience. A different industry, it's classed as 0.
Wow.
Even though I know being on a makeup counter is not just about putting a lipstick on. It was intense. The business behind it, like, there's a lot. But I think people not in the industry don't realize how much we did do. It was just really, really hard to just get out of the industry. It really was.
Wow. So how did you get to where you are in events management now? And if you had, all those job applications, a couple of interviews, and you're still trying to prove, like, look, I know what I'm doing. Like, just give me a shot. Who gave, where did you get your first shot into that then?
So I said after a year of applying for roles, I went for this interview at a really big brand, a nice bar and restaurant in Birmingham. She rang me and told me that my interview was so good that she couldn't offer me the role because I was too experienced.
Nice.
But at this stage, I was like, please just give me the role. Just get me in this industry. Like, I don't care that the money's less. I don't care that it's a lower role. Like, I need just to be given a chance to be, in this new, this new sector. And basically she said no, but she did pass my details on to a bigger restaurant, a bigger brand, and said, there's a management position going, and I think, I think I'd give you a shot, but just go for the interview and just tell them that I sent you here, blah, blah, blah. So went for that. And then, cut a long story short, 3 months later, after doing presentations and 3 interviews, I got the role. And that's when I became sales and events manager for a fine dining restaurant in the Jura Quarter in Birmingham.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. More than I'd ever expected to even be given a chance to, but I just thought, right, this is it now. I've got to shoot my shot. I've got to go for it.
Yeah, and you'd been on such a roller coaster to there as well with obviously Estee Lauder, and then I want to change, and then oh my, is this? But your perseverance is so crucial to that then, because to apply for that many jobs and to be either ignored, which is even worse sometimes than being rejected, but to stick at it, credit to your perseverance there to keep going, and things come around, don't they?
They do, definitely. I finally thought this is something that I think I want to do. I'm gonna have to get myself out here. So I got that role, and although it was very short and sweet due to lovely COVID, which we won't talk about, I'm sick of talking about it.
You're not the only one.
It was short and sweet, like I say, and I was only there probably 14 months, most of that being from home. But I had the best time. I really, really got involved in that job, and I was out and about every day. I was having meetings, I was planning events. Obviously I had somebody with me to support. I had a higher management manager, but I had the best time, and I thought, this is meant for me. This is what I want to get into. And that's where I think finally, I was only 24, 25. And I think it took me till then to be like, this is something I enjoy. I like this job. And then obviously I lost my job with COVID, so I got made redundant, and I was like absolutely gutted. But I always believe everything happens for a reason, and this is my story of where I am now. So I messaged a contact that I met from the restaurant, just saying, hi, I think I'm going to lose my job. Do you know of any jobs going in Birmingham? Because she was a very well-known lady in Birmingham. and she basically sent me an interview the next day for a role, and here I am now. So I feel like if it wasn't for the, you know, for the fine dining restaurant giving me that opportunity to prove myself and, you know, get out there, I never would have got this job now. So I'm very, very grateful for them. And, you know, I always say I'll forever be in their debt for that, because they have basically helped me with my career now, which I would honestly say I am probably the happiest I've ever been in my career today.
Wow, that is so nice to hear. I wonder I wonder if being 25 is the magic age for careers, because that's when I started teaching as well. So maybe there's something about that 25-year-old that you go, nailed it. It's so good. It's so cool to hear that you're happy doing what you're doing. You know, I think students and the general public, we hear doom and gloom all the time, of which there is a lot. You know, the serious issues. You know, I'm not belittling that in any way, shape or form, but to hear that people like yourself are, you know, your industry's kind of never gone away, and it's never going to go away, is it? You know, events management and networking, it's still going to be crucial. And to hear that you're happy in it is brilliant. So, I mean, why are you so happy in it? What makes your work so happy? You know, to go with that cheesy adage of find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and all those kinds of things. You know, what's and then you go, oh no, that's actually true. So what's making you so happy with Downtown in Business?
Good question. I feel like it's been a roller coaster of, you know, a career journey for me, but I always knew that, you know, I'm very much a people's person, and regardless of what job I've been in, so whether I was, you know, collecting glasses and, you know, waitressing when I was at college, whether I was, you know, in Debenhams, whether I was at the restaurant or now at Downtown, all of those jobs have all been customer facing. And I've all been quite businessy. Well, obviously, very businessy. So I think every single one of them has shaped me to know what I want to do. So here was me thinking I want to do makeup, and then realizing actually I want to do the boring stuff. I want to do the figures, and I want to do the management side of things. And then that brought me obviously to get higher and higher. And here I am now. And I was planning events, and then I really enjoyed doing that. Okay, I want to do that and that together. So I think now I'm at the part of my career where I've got every single aspect of my career journey in one job. So I've got the being around, you know, being face to face with customers. They're called members now, obviously, because it's a membership organization. But, you know, being in front of people, meeting new people every day, having conversations. So that's probably the one part of thing. I do love business to business. So I think I will always love to be a customer facing. I always love to be in a customer facing role. So that's one thing I've always loved. Obviously, I now get to plan events every day, which is now my new absolute favorite thing to do ever. So that's, you know, in that role. I've also got the business side of things in forms of figures and targets, not always great, but, you know, having opportunities to prove yourself and, you know, record how well you're doing. And, you know, I've always had figures from the start. So that's something that's, whether I love it or not, that's never changed, but it's something I've always known. And then, I think just the fact of now, as I've got older and wiser and experienced, the job that I'm in now is do what you need to do. Here's your target. You work, you know, we haven't got set hours, whereas in Debenhams it's very much, you come in at this time, you log in, you log out, your breaks at this time. So I think now I'm more, they don't really care as long as you get the job done. So I think that's really important, to be able to have my own. I've got a very good work-life balance now, which is one of the most important things for me. And I didn't have that in my other roles, so I will say that.
And you've got that trust there, then obviously from your employers that, okay, we're not really too fussed. We know KJ is going to get the job done, and everything else is kind of secondary. You know,
I mean, I try, but I think just the fact of having everything in this one. I do try. I mean, I don't know my boss about that, but I do try and obviously do my best. And I just feel like this is the best role I've had, and obviously the other role with the restaurant. But since being in a different industry, it's just eye-opening to see the difference with not getting treated as such, because I don't want to say that I got treated badly in retail, but there's definitely a very different way of managing and different way of speaking to your staff.
Yeah.
And just it's a different world. Like I now get paid to go and meet people and have coffees and have lunch and dinner and nice drinks. You know, there are the perks of the job. Don't get me wrong. There is the other side of things where it's, you know, getting the sales in and doing the admin side of things. But overall, I just think, yeah, to answer your question in short, the role that I'm in now has got every single thing that I've done in my career in one job with all the nice things that I like.
That's brilliant. That is so nice to hear. So nice to hear. In terms of that, I mean, you're talking about your industries there and what you've worked in the retail and events management. Have you ever had to deal with negative perceptions of you and what you do? I mean, we still have issues with sexism in the workplace. We talk about the gender pay gap. It pops up in the news every now and again, and it's kind of hard for us to see it in teaching, and it's hard for the students to see it because they don't work.
Yeah.
You know, and even if they're working part-time, they're not around it as much. I mean, have you ever had to deal with these like negative perceptions of you? One, because of your gender, and two, because you're on a makeup counter. Oh, right, yeah. You spray that perfume and that's all you do. You know, have you ever had to deal with those negative perceptions of you?
Yeah, I would say probably every single part of my career there's been something along those lines. So as you said, being that young girl on that makeup counter, obviously a lot of men used to come and buy for their girlfriends, wives, moms. A lot of women would obviously come to top up their makeup bag. And I think as a young girl, as I said, you just don't get treated seriously and taken serious. Obviously, a lot of people would say things that weren't appropriate. And again, a management side of things as well. I think you get put down a lot. And then I think from growing into different careers, obviously from that sector to this one now, very different, a lot more respect. Everyone's a lot older. But again, I still think, I don't know how to say this professionally, but being a young female, still to this day, still this week now, you have things said to you. Like I had a speak with my director yesterday, and I said to him, like, look at this message I've just got sent. Or look at this email, or look what this person said to me earlier. And I think regardless of whether you're a male or female, I'm not being feminist here. I'm very much about equality. But as a young female, yes, I think I do get a lot of things said to me that are inappropriate that my director, for example, wouldn't get. How
do you deal with that, like mentally? I mean, we see a lot of it on Twitter, and even on this thing we call teacher Twitter. Some of the female teachers on there as well are saying, this is a message I had, you know, and we're all professionals on there, and then through. So unfortunately, I think that's happening in a range of industries.
Of course. Yeah. Even on like LinkedIn, LinkedIn's obviously a professional platform, and you have people messaging you about, do you want to go for a drink? Like, this is not Tinder. Get off.
Yeah.
But I think I'm very much
understand them, don't they? So
yeah, honestly, it's disgusting really when you're trying to be professional, but I think I do it very well. But yeah, to answer your question, I think I'm a very open book. I'm very confident, and I can take a joke. I don't take things too seriously, and I probably don't take things as seriously as I should. But yeah, I kind of just brush it off. So if I had a text message yesterday, for example, from somebody a little bit inappropriate, and then you either don't reply or you make it sound very professional, you reply to let them know where they stand. If I'm out at a meeting and someone said something, I wouldn't be ashamed to say, I don't like what you just said there. I don't like how you've spoken to me. But again, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but I kind of just not laugh it off, but I brush it off at the moment and just get back to what I'm doing. But I would say if anyone ever felt like they felt uncomfortable, and my management wouldn't ever want me to feel in that position. So I have somebody actually who's been very, very wrong with me, to be honest, very, very inappropriate. And the management have said to me, like, don't reply, you don't have to go to the meeting, don't ever feel uncomfortable that you have to do anything, like, we support you with that, which is obviously really nice. And I know that if I ever had a problem, I could just give them a call and that would support that. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't find it a problem, and I think I can deal with it very well, but I know not everyone is like me.
Well, I hope, students watching and listening to this are thinking that they're going to make some appropriate decisions when they're, communicating with people, because they're at the start of their career journeys, and it's
Of course, yeah.
important that we do things right for the right reasons, and that we understand
Of course.
the situation everybody's in. So, and in terms of, like, you're talking about communicate with other people, and business to business is what you do right now. That's, again, a tricky concept sometimes to understand when you've only ever been a consumer, myself included, really. So, I mean, how important is somebody like yourself and maintaining business? How often are businesses communicating with each other? Why do we need people like you? Why can't businesses just go out there and managers all know each other and everything's fine, and we all just run our little business and everything's fine? Why do we need people like you?
And that would be great, wouldn't it? But that's not what happens. So,
well,
especially
because you're unemployed, so it would be terrible. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very important to have the middleman, if that's what you want to call me. So we have a business, for example, we work with a lot of different sectors, but just an example here. So we have a law firm. Mm-hmm. So they need to connect with other sectors that they need to get sales from. So a law firm might need to get in contact with another solicitor or an accountant to use their CRM, or a property company to get, use them as for their platform. So there's many different reasons and many different sectors, and they're very much connected. So you might not think that a law firm would need a restaurant or a venue, but they need to host their dinners. They need to wine and dine clients. They need to come to networking events, which is what I do. So I will make sure that the relevant people are in the room. So my nice part of my job is picking a lovely venue, picking the lovely food and drink and the wine, obviously, but making sure that table plan is fitting to who needs to speak to who. So, I make sure that contact there, okay, I know that she needs to speak to a solicitor because she needs that, so I'll pop them two together. Or I know that guy is doing a lot of traveling up and down the country, so he might need a hotel. So I'll put them next to the hotel venue because they can get some deal going on. And then, okay, I'll put her next to him. Or, that's how it works for me. And it's very, very important to make the connection. So I'm the person that says, oh, hi, Danny, this is so-and-so from there. This would be great for you to speak, and then let them do their thing. Or, like I said, sit them at the table together so they can speak and, whatever, or send them an email and just tag them in the email and say, oh, this is someone I really think you get to, contact. Yeah. So it's very important for me because I have that black book of contacts. I'm the Birmingham face. So I have all sectors: hospitality, professional services, property, marketing and digital, transport, education. I have all these sectors that we work with as our membership organization, and all of those sectors need the other people. But it's hard to go around and know everyone. So I'm kind of the walking black book that has all the contacts that can make that connection for them, or put them in the same room as that person, or I need someone from here, but I don't know anyone, do you? And then that's what I would do. So I'd say at the moment more than ever, but it's always been very important to have connections, make new connections, and keep connecting, because somebody always knows somebody who can refer somebody else, and whether you need it or not. So obviously my job is planning the events, and I always need a lovely venue and a nice restaurant to go to, but yourself, so you don't probably need to have that contact, but one day you will need to take your friend for lunch, or go out for dinner with family, or take a friend out, or someone will say, oh my God, do you know a place that does these cocktails? So regardless of who it is and what it is, a connection is a connection. And someone will always need a solicitor, or might need an accountant, or know someone who does. There's always somebody who will need somebody. So basically that is my job, just to keep connections going and make sure we create long-standing partnerships and relationships, so everyone gets sales and everyone does their job at the end of the day.
What a great way to circle back then, because what you're describing there reminds me of when I planned my wedding, and possibly
there we go, yeah.
When you planned your mum's wedding, like, well, who's going to sit by who's going to get on, who's having the same food, so we can, be easier for the restaurant. So it's fascinating, how you've turned kind of your hobbies and your interests, and now you do it and you get paid for it, and doing it, which is, you know,
Oh yeah.
you're getting paid for doing something you actually enjoy, and you're obviously excelling at as well. So nice one. I mean, what's next then for you and Downtown in Business as we move forward in the next like year or two? Are you back up to full speed now and out there and getting these events kind of running again?
Yeah,
And
so
also,
we're back.
sorry to interrupt your answer from the question, but I just asked, how rude is this guy? Proper teacher.
It's okay, don't worry.
And also, is the Commonwealth Games on your radar as well as you go forward?
Second question, absolutely. Obviously, that's a really big thing for Birmingham. So, and obviously I am the face of Birmingham, so we'll have a lot of events around that. We're just starting to plan a lot of things regarding, you know, business of sport events and speaking with different. Yeah, so yes, to answer your question, we are a very topical organisation, so we're very relevant to what's going on. So Commonwealth will be a massive thing for us to go focus on going forward with events and dinners and things like that. Yeah. Going back to your first question, what is for me in the future? Who knows? I have expressed my interest in, you know, progressing in the company that I'm in now, and that's somewhere where I feel like I will stay. I'm really enjoying it. I love all my colleagues. I love everyone I speak to, members, non-members. You know, I've made some really good relationships in the city centre and surrounding areas. So I think the opportunities are endless for me, and I'm very positive about where I can go. Who knows? I don't know. I know downtown is going to be expanding a lot, and we've got a lot of newness to come. So I know there's a lot of progression in, you know, the company itself and my role. So I'm hoping, you know, this time next year I can be sitting here in a bigger role, you know, maybe have a bigger territory of where I'm traveling to, so maybe a little bit more of Birmingham. Who knows if I'll be focusing more, you know, doing more events, you know, bigger events. Who knows? I don't know. But I hope whatever it is within this company that I'm with now, because I do feel there's a lot here for me.
Yeah, well, maybe I should hold you to that. We'll do a 1 year later next year.
Yeah, if my boss is going to listen to this, I'll just start out. He already knows. Yeah, there's a lot coming for downtown. It's really exciting. I feel like it's the perfect time for me to be a part of it. I feel like it's, you know, meant to be that I've started just when things are gonna get bigger. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for me. I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh, so excited for you. Well, that's fantastic to hear that, you know, somebody's happy in their job and helping Birmingham keep ticking over. Again, I think we take it for granted, and we have done before COVID and during and afterwards, that everything's just there. You know, we take it for granted.
It's been hard work. There's been a lot of industries that have struggled. There's been a lot of jobs that have been lost. There's been a lot of, you know, hearts that have been broken. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's back to normal and it's perfect now, because it's not. But what I will say is just in the last 3 months alone, there's been a lot more. The hustle and bustle of the city is back. Yes. You know, face-to-face is back. Events are back. And everyone is happy to get out there and get back to it. So yeah, we're not there yet, but there's a lot of positivity and a lot of let's get back to it. So I think we will get there slowly but surely.
Yeah, let's hope we can keep it rolling. So I'm going to ask you one last question as we wrap things up here, which I haven't prepped you for, because I'm that kind of guy. And your question is, if you could go back to when you were, say, 16, 17, maybe 18, and give yourself a piece of advice for yourself, or you wish somebody had told you something that you took on and used as a mantra, what would that advice be?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's very cliche.
You can go for a cliche and
don't worry. What will be, and like your path is however you want it to be. So don't feel like you have to copy everyone or do what's known or go where someone else says, you know, do what makes you happy, to be honest. I think, yeah, as you can, obviously everyone knows now, my career has been very different throughout. But if you'd have said to me at 16 years old, you're going to be downtown in business, you know, being in sales and events, I'd be like, what's that?
Yeah, that's right.
So I think my only piece of advice is just to not stress. Don't worry if you don't know what you want to do. Don't worry if you don't know where you're going to go. Yeah. And don't know if you don't know what you want to be. I think as you grow and as you have just general life experiences, it will put you into the person that you're supposed to be. And like I say, I'm 26 years old now. Who knows where I'll be next year? Who knows where I'll be in 4 years' time, 10 years' time? I used to have this like calendar. So I'm going to be here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And it doesn't happen. Yeah. And then certain things will happen unexpectedly. Personal life as well. I was going to be married with kids at now age, and I'm not. I'm very single. But I think just general life, and especially being a woman, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So I think as a 26-year-old,
society does as well. Society does.
Yeah, it does. Society, social media. I think a lot of things give us a lot of false hope and make us stress more than we need to. So as a 26-year-old woman sitting here now, to anybody, I would just say, enjoy what you do, and don't think that your path has to go a certain way because someone else has told you it should, because it will work out how it's supposed to. And yeah, like I say, I'm sitting here now absolutely happiest I've been in life and my career. Wow. And it wasn't part of any of my plans. So yeah, just enjoy it and stop putting pressure on yourself, stop stressing.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. This is getting played to my students before I've even edited that bit. That's amazing. No, thank you, KJ. I really appreciate it. I've been saying to a few people lately that these are for students, and I feel like now I'm just learning so much from these. So thank you so much for your honesty and the journey. It's great to hear it. It's not something we'd normally find in terms of really just working your socks off, doing what you enjoy, and it's funny how things turn out and that you can be happy doing it. So
it is,
thank you so much. What I'll do, I'll stay on the line for just a second. We'll say a proper cheerio. But for now, I'll just say thanks for talking business. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch you again sometime. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
Big thank you to KJ for taking the time out to chat. No doubt it's very, very busy over at Downtown in Business with all the networking that's now kicking off again. So I wish you and all your colleagues over in Downtown in Business all the best success in the world. And really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with me. And for our students and for anybody else listening, I really hope you're taking on board this importance of finding something that you love. And it's okay if it takes a bit of time to find it, but keep searching because it's well worth it in the end. So KJ, thank you, appreciate it. And for everybody else watching and listening, really appreciate you tuning in. You can rate, review, share, subscribe and like on YouTube and all your podcast platforms. All of that is much appreciated, and you can say hi just having a look for Pardo's Business on your social medias. Thank you. We'll catch you again sometime, and until then, cheerio.